Well, hello, everybody. We're back in the Bee Shed and just going to take you on a little tour plus end of July inspection. I typically do hive inspections um, once a week, sometimes two. It just depends. It's been a very rough spring and summer for us in the Bee Shed, our inaugural year in the Bee Shed. Um, Cold temperatures and no rain, very dry. Hot temperatures, very dry, no rain. So it's been tough. Lost a queen. This hive here, I don't feel like she's the strongest, but we're going to check on how things are going today. You still see I have some feeding going on. I kind of um, have had those on and off all throughout the spring and summer, depending on the rain and what I'm noticing, how much they're drinking, and what it seems like they might be bringing in as of right now. I'm just saying all that because um, about 2 weeks ago, I had decided that I'm not going to probably take honey, which I don't know if that's weird or strange or not for our first year. But I'm just not finding that they're doing anything quickly, whether it's eggs or, the putting the nectar from the either the feed or from wild sources. They're doing a good job with that. But in terms of like bee colony size, it's been slow going. So I'm just hesitant to like make them struggle harder than it's been. And that might be me being very conservative. I could be wrong, and I harvest some honey in a month or two. I don't know what's going to happen. You all be along the ride with me. So before I jump into getting, you know, opening up the hives here, I just want to show you around a little bit from the very first video. You kind of had a long view. And there's a lot of improvements that need to be made. So I know that y'all watching are going to have a lot of comments. I appreciate no criticism, but if you do, okay, I can take it. But I'm learning, and there's already adjustments that I'm going to make for the next two that we do for next year. I'm going to probably just stick with these two hives. It's late in the season, plus just experimenting. I'm trying to figure this out. I don't really um, don't see a lot of videos about doing hives and sheds, and so there's a lot of things to learn and figure out. So that's what we're doing. I know you saw from the earlier, my first introductory video, that there's a couple windows in here. Um, the bees have a hard time not wanting to go in the cracks, so I have some netting stuck in there. That's just kind of the resource I had at the moment, and that seemed to keep them out and get from getting lost and stuck and wearing themselves out in there. And I keep this open because it's very hot and summer in here. Um, and probably in the 90s in here in the shed. But so yeah, that's trying to keep a little bit of airflow. Plus, if you're in a shed, obviously you have to have a way for them to get out later when you're going to see them all come out. They're going to go out the door, this door. They're going to go out this front door here, and then I have a window up here that I keep open. Honestly, it's probably a little too open because birds obviously can very easily get in there. They haven't, but I think I'm pressing my luck, and hopefully by next video I'll have that shut to a crack, at least half that size, if not smaller, because obviously, right? You might not think about mice. Yes, there's mice in here. I've seen one, and I need to get some traps, but I haven't seen too much new sign. The ones that were in here were in that corner. I actually see some new poo, so that means that there's someone living in here. I need to get some traps. I haven't noticed that they've gotten into any other, because these are they have hives and they have some drawn out comb in those, and I know that I need to store those probably more properly. But for now, they're just in here. They're not going anywhere. I I check on them just to see if there's any mice trying to get in there. I haven't seen any signs of that, but that doesn't mean they aren't and they won't. So I know that I got to do something about that. Um, Honestly, in that bin, this bin is empty. This bin, some pollen, just bag pollen. I just have it. I don't live close to anything, so I try to keep a few supplies on hand. Okay. Obviously, some extra supers. I just try to pick up this stuff as I go when I find people getting rid of things. Um, a little more inexpensively, all that. And I also have some gardening supplies in here. Same thing, some pollen patties, other garden stuff, other random kind of stuff in here. Again, not that exciting, I'll be honest, but I just want to show you around. Lighting real quick is that I have this little guy hooked up to that, which the little solar power source is right there. Um, but it doesn't provide enough light. I'll show you. Hold on. So it's much darker, and this is the only guy. So I really can't see well when I inspect the hive. So I've got this extra, more high-powered light that's charged by a little generator here. Sorry about that. Get the Jackery going for now, but I really think that I need this light up here, and probably nice to have a window up there at some point too. We'll get to that. The last thing I will say, I think I said this in another video, is that I did not make these two things wide enough apart. This hive probably needs to be down, but as you've seen from other videos, let's see if I can even get up here and down. You can see down the corner, that's what's going on. It's attached from inside the hive, and so is that one, and they're kind of glued in place. So, by keeping there's some caulking around those pipes so where the bees just can't get in and out that easily. This one's pretty sealed up very well. I've noticed this one, I think there's some gaps, so sometimes I'll see bees get out. Not that many, we're talking a little 20, sometimes hanging out in the front of that. That's about it. But most of the time they go out through the tubes on the outside when they need to cool off, and I'm not really sure how that's working yet. We will find out the conditions. Now it's pretty warm, so I've noticed, because there has been a lot of stress, honestly, probably some of my own doing, and probably just the rough start that these bees got, because like I said, here where I am, the May, when I got these as nukes, the temperatures were still like high 30s and even 40s. And I think that's possibly maybe when this queen disappeared somehow. I think she just gotten stressed, shocked, whatever. I'm not sure. Or it could have been later. I really don't know. So that's kind of what's been happening with that. So we'll see. But I requeened this one a couple weeks ago and doing great again. There is eggs being laid. That's awesome. So anyway, I think it's time to get my smoker going a little bit, because last week when I did my inspection, this one was a little more antsy than this one. And usually it's the other way around. So I needed some smoke. So let me get that going, and I will be right with you. All right, let's get into it and see what we got going on this week. Getting all my gloves on, my smoker. Me and the smoker do not have a great relationship. I'll be honest. I'm not the best at keeping it going. I'm kind of impatient with it. But I do love my Apis tactical gloves. I don't have any sponsorship. I'm just like, they work great. So let's see here. All right. So bees have not drank a lot of this, which means either they're not interested or they're finding some of the good stuff. Not sure. I'll put them over here, kind of by the window. So if they want to get out quickly, or they're just going to hang out here. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but let's see what's going on. Ooh. Hey, I think we got a bunch of stuff in here this week. Okay. And you know what? I'm wondering. Yeah, let's just check this way first. These seem to be pretty. Give a little. There's not much smoke to give. Just a smooch. Just a smooch. And let's see where we want to start. Let's take off this little pile. They're not really eating the pollen, Patty. That's okay. It's still here, just in case they feel like it. Sorry, didn't you smush it? I don't know about you other beekeepers. I talk to them because, I don't want to make them mad. I'm just here to have fun with them. Hopefully not get in their way. Help them do what they got to do in life. Hopefully get to enjoy some honey. Okay. Hey, I know. Okay, just working on comb still, guys. Like, again, it's been a rough, hard, taking a lot of work summer. So a lot of these frames don't look like little super. aren't got anything in them really yet. And I gotta be really on my tail right now already. And I just have Italians. I prefer gentle. I think I might try, I think it's called buck bass maybe next year, just something different I've never done or don't have a lot of experience with. I think we got some just nectar in here, but that makes sense. They're right by the nectar hole there. And there's drawn out comb on this side. That's good. And I just kind of set stuff wherever I can down here, you guys, because again, I do need to probably get some kind of hive stand. That would probably be convenient, but right now just resting it against stuff. Let's see what's going on. You might be wondering why I do supers and I haven't done like 2 beeps because I'm a small person and I've had some strength / a little bit of health stuff going on this last couple years. So I just didn't want to make this any harder than it had to be. So I plan on doing just more mediums to get the supply of, oh, we got a drone, got a couple of drones. Interesting. I don't know. You see that guy up there? There's one right there too. I'm a terrible queen finder, by the way. So if you see her, which I doubt, I'm probably not going to get into the lower hive today unless I don't see eggs. So there are some, she's been up here, which is fine because I don't mind. I would love that this is full of eggs too, because I want to have more bees to make it through the winter. Okay, this next one is gonna be heavy. It is full of honey, or fake honey, whatever. A mix, real honey, fake honey, whatever. It's for them. I'm not taking anything from these hives here, so no big deal. As far as I know, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. This one's gonna be heavy. And so it's super chock full. Let's see what else we got going on. I did see a little egg, so that's good. I'd like to see more, but hopefully you got some other other frames here that will have some more babies in them. It's my favorite is to find the babies. So what we got going on here, this thing's pretty chock full. Looks like there's a practice, maybe queen cup. Maybe those are drones at the bottom of that one. I'm gonna put this at the edge here. I think I might move some stuff around today because that one's so chock full. I might need to move it into like this hive might be soon needing, not sure how you all feel about that, but I don't want to wait till it's too late for them to have room for stuff to grow, but they're not really laying a lot of eggs up here either because there's not a lot of, this one's got a little comb, but it's a little bit older, but they're working on it. It looks like I might put that one in the center. Put that over here for a minute. So as you see, I am putting the frames everywhere to make some room. I'm gonna put this at the edge. You know, I mess with things and sometimes I'll like do an inspection. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I did that right or what's the right thing. I don't know. And I'll go out 2 days later. I'll give them a day and then come out and change things. This one is really full too. Really full of honey and fake honey. That's like super heavy. Let me see if there's anything going on though besides just honey. Nope. Full of honey, like that's chock full, like there's no other room. And this side almost too. Wow, it's beautiful. It's just kind of heavy. Oh, what I was hoping for, which I think that's maybe the day to do it. You guys get to see that with me. But I think I might put another super on today. Not, and I could be wrong, but I might do it. And I will take correction if more experienced folks think so. because this side, I got some honey, but this side has babies, which obviously helps me know that she's coming up here and laying eggs. I don't know. I know camera work isn't great, but I see cactus stuff. I see some cat babies. I see a little honey. They're still working on the comb. That's exciting. That makes me happy. Okay, this is just honey, but we're gonna leave that be. No pun intended. And I don't know if this is boring to people, but this is super fun for me. So, and I'm a newbie. So I'm learning. Okay, we got a few, I think it's drone cells in this one too, and some honey. I don't know how y'all feel about the smell. There's a stress smell of bees. There's the, ooh, there's a lot of bees on this side. I wonder if the queen's around here somewhere. And like I said, I'm terrible at finding her. So if I do this on camera, anytime soon, it'll be like the first time ever. But there's something about this one that there's interest. And if you all see me look over my shoulder or act kind of paranoid, I do live in an area where there's bears. So I'm always with that door open behind me, trying to keep my senses pretty sharp. I don't really check out. I'm always kind of like eyes behind my head a little bit. Not that it's not quite that time for them to be being too nosy, but it could be. We're getting there next month or two. Okay, they're working on a mixture of stuff here, it looks like, mostly nectar. And there's some eggs. I don't know if y'all can see that. Very exciting. See a drone. I hear bees hitting the light. It might be hornet, yellow jackets too, I'm not sure. Okay. Well, that makes me happy. I like happy days with bees. Oh, sorry. I know I'm geeking out. But there are more eggs on this one too. This is the best day I've had in. So I started, again, late. This would be like the third week of May I got bees. And I guess it's been kind of a slow, kind of hardish go. It's been stressful for them with extra cold and like the late spring, early summer, and then really hot. It was kind of all or nothing. Oh, it's so pretty. The pattern. I mean, there's a few holes here or there, but she's coming up here. It's exciting, and there's lots of bees taking care of things. So wouldn't it be cool? Hey, in front of the drone. There's more babies on this side, capped up. All right, very happy today. So we're gonna take, put some different frames in this one, because let's see, I'm gonna put the honey ones higher and keep the baby bees down here. Oh, you know what, y'all? I don't have a queen excluder. Whoops, next trip to town, I got to do that. I didn't think I'd need it yet. I was kind of thinking that I had more time. But obviously, I do not have more time. So I need to get that this weekend. I'll do it tomorrow and put it on there. Okay. So while you're all enjoying whatever you're seeing here, I'm going to get another super ready, which I have my own collection here. And put some hive. So here's this little one. It's like, I did a decent job of preserving some hives I had a couple years ago. So I'll tell the backstory why I'm doing this. I had bees 3 years ago, and we had such terrible bear problems. It was attracting so many, and it was just too dangerous for myself. Part of the reason we had the bee shed. No, I've told some of that story already, but just too dangerous. But I was able to salvage some things I didn't totally destroy. And yeah. have some pretty good drawn out foam on some of these already, and I put them in the. I kept them in a. Yeah, these look really pretty nice. I know they're not perfect. You see the claw marks in them and the snout marks, all kinds of wild stuff, but freeze them and wrap them up and put them, save them, you know, just in case I ever did bees again. And I always wanted to, but I just never pushed it. And my wonderful husband's like, we need to do this again. Just do it to adjust to our where we live. And quite wise, right? So that's what we did. All right, I think that's good. Watch out, little lady. There you go. Mush, mush ya. Look at all these. Move it over. All right, so these three here were just so chock full of honey that I'm gonna move them up. At least if there's any egg, I think there's one that has some eggs on it, so I won't. I'll leave it be, but check this. Let's see what is that. I'm gonna put this one back in the center. It has a few eggs on it. They're starting to get kind of sick of me. I can hear it. So I'm hurrying. Hurrying with slowness. How about that? That's what I try to do, is hurry, just not mope around too long. I know I didn't do the bottom hive because I kind of didn't know if this was what I needed to do today, switch some stuff around. So I'll do that another one. And I know I need to do some kind of treatment here soon. Okay. Let's see where we're at. These big ones with all this honey in it. They're so heavy duty. It's exciting to get to do this though, because again, I know that most people who live in more temperate climates have already harvested at least once, and maybe we're gonna do twice. I might not do it all, which is totally okay. My first ever season, I had to harvest twice. It's amazing. But we had just couldn't ask for better weather where I live. It was warm but not hot. It was wet and just abundance of. I hardly fed. You know, they just rejected any fake anything, and not fake, but any replacement feed because just had so much of what they wanted that didn't need to. Okay, yeah, we're gonna put more of those girls down there. Let's see if I want to put one more on top. Okay, which I'm going to because this one seems pretty heavy too. Okay, I think that's it though. I think I'll just replace these two. Whoops. I dropped my high to at least twice a session doing this. I think I'm going to do this one too. It's full, 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 full. Almost full. I might have to consider taking this off. It's just so full. That's which is so fun. Let's make sure. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, let's get these other ones in and get them a little less agitated. I'm not doing too bad, but I am getting hot here and there. Thankful for suits. Oh, well, sorry. I have expressions. I smushed one, putting that last one in. I'm sorry. I try to, the challenge I have for myself is not to smush me. I know that's not realistic, but I try. Let's put that back in there. I don't know if y'all can hear them. They've had enough of me. They've had enough. All right. One more needs to go in. By the way, I have not seen the queen, so that means I have it. the first summer she don't want to be. Let's put this second, I guess, medium supery thing on here. Not smashing too many or anybody. Like I said, my goal. Okay. I think I did that. And you can see that was about as high as I can be. You can see I'm going to have to get some kind of step stool that's not rickety to help me out. Okay. Let's slide that one, right? This full one in here just for now. There we go. Okay. I'll put this little random piece that they don't really want to eat all back on there. And gosh, I might not put that super or that feeder back on just because I put that on last, I think I did that 5 days ago. They haven't hardly used any of it, so I may not. All right, guys, here we come back up here. We didn't get back up here. I won't put a lid on there for a while. Let them find their way back in. Okay. So I'm curious what y'all think of that. Now we have one deep and two honey supers, but I'm using honey supers as brood boxes as well because of my height, strength level, all that kind of stuff. So it will grow taller, obviously. It'll be right on my camera. But yeah, I will wonder what you guys think about that. So I'm gonna give them a minute to kind of find where they want to go. And yeah, would love your thoughts about how I'm doing this in the bee shed so far. So you can see here that they don't really come flying out. We've just got the residual ones here where I set the frames. I'm gonna look closely real quick. Make sure nobody. That that might help them try to find their way to the top because they don't know where it is. I wonder if that little bee there's hurt. I'm not sure. But anyway, this little bit here, try to find where they get to the top because some of these have never been out because I don't know if they're still nurse bees or what. But they know where to go. They're all kind of trying to get back to the opening there. And I got some flying. You can see them flying kind of out the window that were on the syrup bucket here. So they'll find their way out back to the hole. They've done the beginning. I feel like it took them forever to figure it out, but they did. So don't worry. If you do a bee shed, they'll take them a minute, but they'll get there. I've only had a few fly out the front door, but they're kind of, oh, there's one, but they're getting there. This light's a little hard for them, I think. It's a little bright. But I think that's all it for now. I'm going to do a separate video with hive. Actually, this is my hive 1. This is my hive 2, but I sometimes do this one first. It depends on my mood, just because this is a little more cramped area, which, again, I wish I would have moved it. And I don't really want to move it. So it might just be a little more cramped, but that's okay. All right. I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you, I'll let you watch them kind of trying to find their way out as I'm taking my glove off here to be able to stop this video. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, please reach out. And that's all for today. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.